his head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just gonna line up here for Lazzy. He's gonna find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. It's a kill.
Priestley with the quad feed.
Gets the ace. Available, just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
Hello everybody and welcome to St. Clair Saints Overwatch. My name Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danner's Banner. We have a great matchup here tonight of some St. Clair Saints Overwatch, and it is going to be your St. Clair College versus Bay State. A phenomenal Overwatch school here. Overall, they're pretty good in most titles that they actually do have underneath them. So a good school overall here. Going to be having a good roster. I think 6-1 or something like that. 5-1 right now, currently in NECC. So they're looking to end off this regular season with a bang. And St. Clair going to have a tough time, but let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough one. Of course, I'd put Bay State pretty much on the same sort of level of difficulty as like one of your Northwoods or something like that. They've definitely been putting a lot of time and resources into their teams. And speaking of their teams, let's take a look and see who we have on this Bay State College roster. Of course, we've got Faded, Infernal, Neb, Cabe, McCann, and Abs. Meanwhile, on the side of St. Clair, it's the crew. You know them by now, of course, here for the Saints Overwatch. We got our Junk Gun support, Bailable DPS, U-Bolt support, Apostle and G-Scales on the tank roll, and Cheesy is the DPS this time by.
Yes, for sure. So very excited to get things underway. We actually will be here right now in our game number 1 of our best of 3, and a map that we don't see, crazy often. I feel like it's here, there, now, and Saints usually do fairly well on it. So let's see how things play out. We are going to get us started off here, and both teams getting into it, and it's going to be Neb opening us up on Apostle. Faded answering back and fighting 2, and there's Infernal with 1 as well. That is going to be Bay State almost with the team wipe. You will last alive, and there it is. Team wipe done and dusted. Bay State will capture the point.
I mean, they both have the same idea with just rushing the high ground there, using the symmetric teleports to their advantage and whatnot. But unfortunately for the Saints, something got them kind of caught out pretty quickly here. And unfortunately not going to take that first fight.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, just as I was saying, Bay State will get the official capture here now as the control point did get unlocked. G-Skills, though, going to come in and find Faded. There's a good opening pick. Maybe helping you find some more now going through here. Arjun finds one as well, and this might turn into something here. Dan, as the capture goes through, Saints are going to start getting their ticks going now as well. Arjun and G-Skills doing a ton of work on this point, and they force Bay State out.
Okay, so slowly but surely they just singled out one member of Bay State at a time, and they just straight out pushed them out of the middle. Of course, wanting to have the high ground for a little bit of a better angle is always nice and all, shooting onto the point, but you don't get to control the point that way. And now Saints being able to capture this one means Bay State's back to the drawing board, but they do have ultimates available. Here they come.
Yeah, here it is. Faded, and Neb will open us up. Apostle at least getting an answer back there, taking down Cabe. Abs going to be here, though. Bay State now taking down lots of these St. Clair members. Available last alive, going to fall, and this one will go back into the hands of Bay State. Percentages by the time St. Clair gets back will probably be pretty even, and we're going to see another team fight come through, but this is going to be a big one from St. Clair if they want to keep themselves kind of like a tie-ish game here.
Okay, I don't know what the heck, if that was a misclick or what there from Faded on the side of Bay State College. There's only one member of St. Clair left, and he opted to use the Shatter. Meanwhile, onto the point. I hear the Flux coming out alongside a Riptire. Here we come towards the center, but Bailable gets taken down as well as a Tire.
Yeah, so you see this whole St. Clair College roster coming in, but it's not working out well. Bay State going to shut them down before they could even get onto this point, and that's essentially another team wipe, leaving Bailable once again as last alive. He's just going to fall off, wait for his team to regroup, and they're going to be looking to make another push here. They do have a few ults. G-Scales, Apostle, and Arjun all have theirs. For the side of Bay State, you see Neb and Meek on with his. But Bay State, they're starting to pull away with these percentages here, Dan. What do you think St. Clair has to do to answer back on the site?
It's going to be all about the ultimate usages right here, right now. Bit of an awkward corridor to try and fight in, but looks like Cabe's having a field day.
Yeah, Cabe gonna go in, takes down Apostle. Cheesy, though, will be able to answer back with one of his own, so making this a little bit more doable for the Saints, but Neb has been doing so much work here against this Saints roster. Now Cabe gonna fall. This is a pretty even fight. The only thing is this is towards St. Clair's spawn. This is not where you want to be fighting if you're St. Clair right now. Cheesy will be able to get a little bit of them pushed back, and they are slowly getting them pushed back, but at this point in time, Bay State just racking up the percentages at this point in time, and they are definitely pulling away from St. Clair College's lead here.
Yeah, shatter for shatter going into that one. An absolute bloodbath here right on the outskirts of the Saints spawn. Flux on top of that, going to kind of keep Saints stuck out in the outside for just a second here. Our Junk's going to be playing around with it Infernal for just a second here. Probably clean him up, but
yeah,
in the background, Apostle, last-ditch effort.
Yeah, there it is, like you said, last chance effort, and they do it well. Apostle, G-Skills, Argent, all finding frags. Now leaving it up to Bay State, but no time to hop on and contest. That's going to be Bay State taking round number 1 of our best of 3 inside of our best of 3 essentially here. So
essentially,
it's going to be the Saints now forced to answer back, and they're going to have to find 2 in a row if they want to take map number 1 here. Not going to be easy.
Yeah, definitely rough in that regard, but we're going to do have the next rounds coming up in just a second. Of course, once again, a little bit of a switch up this time by with trying to see exactly which version of Bijan do we have here. We have either the circled one in the middle, or we have the one where it's just you can push people right off the side. Either of those does require a bit of a playstyle difference. It looks like it is the one where there's the big outskirts with no walls and you could fall right off. So Saints accordingly switching to some characters that might be able to abuse that, like Cheesy's Doomfist.
Yes, for sure. So here we are, now getting things started. St. Clair now will be advancing, and this is going to be a bloodbath once again. Team fight towards the center of the site, control point waiting to get unlocked, and so far, it looks like St. Clair has done a pretty good job of making their way onto site here. Just, you see Arjun in the background just giving some heals over and spend some shots away. Infernal going to be the one to enter here, but he's tagged down very weak. This might be a frag out for the Saints. Bailable might be fine again, and he does. There's a great opening pick. St. Clair now just got to clean up the rest.
Yeah, like with Bay State there, they sacrifice not having a teleport to opt for aerial control, and so far that doesn't really seem to be paying off here. The tank line from the side of Bay State, also switching for the Roadhog, which is something a little bit interesting as well.
Oh,
but
Neb! He's going to line up a few on his ulti there, and now that is going to be the side of Bay State looking to take over this one, but Apostle slowing things down will take down Nebs. Cabe and Abs also going to be here now, but this is a retake from St. Clair, or sorry, from Bay State, and they're going to start taking this one now. St. Clair, good start, but Bay State, even better answer back.
Gosh, Neb just doing exactly what they need to do there. Like I was saying, they gave up the initial capture to have air superiority, and Neb just had an absolute field day with that barrage, and now it's going to be really difficult for the Saints to get in here. Infernal here on this Roadhog is just going to try and control this area, but Apostle boosted up, ready to go, trying to give Infernal a hard time.
Yes, for sure. So lots of battles going on in here, and Cheesy and Apostle being able to pick up a couple will definitely help St. Clair try to retake this one back over in their point of view. And now it's going to be 4 players on it, and the tick is back into their favor. Percentages are starting to get gained for the Saints here once again. Cade and Meekon, the only ones on the side of Bay State with their ult. Ubel will have his ult for the side of St. Clair, and this ult economy looking fairly even, if anything, a little in favor of Bay State, and that could hurt St. Clair here going forward when they're trying to lock down the site.
It just depends if they can keep the skies alive, and they're not going to be able to. Between Cheesy and G-Scales, they do find a kill on both of the DPS players, so Bay State cannot even poke from the side right now. Apostle with the Shatter is just going to clean things up slowly but surely, and Bay State's back to the drawing board. Yeah,
and you know what? Despite St. Clair being down 1-0 in this game right now, they're having a very, very good game, in my personal opinion, for playing, you know, like a top 5 team in the nation, top 3 team in the nation. St. Clair so far holding their own, and I think we just got to continue to see it. Neb doing some work here from above, though, but St. Clair's percentages going up, and they're starting to take a bit of a lead here now. They're doing a really good job of keeping Bay State out of the zone. Bay State have 5 ultis, though, and Ab's about to have his. They're about to have full ultis.
They have to be careful, though. They can't just blow it all onto one push. Otherwise,
they do. There's 3, anyway. There's 4, and they're trying to use all their ultis. Arjun and Bailable trying to shut things down, but Faded, Infernal, and Cave might be a little too much. Bay State going to be contesting this point here now, and there it is. The frags come through, all of them. Meekon actually going to team kill Cave, I think, there by accident, and now it is going to be the side of Bay State getting the ticks back in their favor once again.
Yeah, there's just icing on the cake there. He came there with the res just to get the player right back in the swing of things. Like, oh yes, St. Clair, you got that kill? Haha, nope, not quite. And Ubel, no! Big boop coming out here from Neb.
That was from 2. Ubel and Bailable also going to fall off the map there from that. That's huge for the side of Bay State to help them kind of get a little bit more of an even scoreline here in this round number 2. And man, oh man, this is a close one, but lots of ultis to use for St. Clair. They got G-Scales, Cheesy, and Ubel all with theirs, trying to get something to go and just try to retake the site here a little bit, but here it is. Here's the full team push. Let's see how things play out. They got to take out these healers. They got to take out these support players. They do a good job of that. Neb going to be the first to fall, and that's a big player to get rid of early. Ubel looking to come through and do some work himself, just giving away all these heals and getting all that damage on as well.
A very troublesome, bit of a split fight, but that of course is where this Lucio is going to kind of just do massive amounts of work here. Faded kind of stuck out to the side. Saints need to capture this thing quick, but Bay State not going to let that happen. Never mind, they do actually manage to sneak it. It was only Cheesy went down.
Yeah, for sure. And now Infernal here, though, trying to do some work. He's doing tons of damage here. That's going to be popped out of her mech for G-Scales, and that will be Arjun falling off the map. Neb finding a couple there. Neb has been so lethal this game, booting people off the map, slowing down St. Clair. Got to give props to Neb. He's probably one of my MVPs in this game so far.
Absolutely, and even with the way that fight started off there, Infernal, of course, that whole hog does a ton of damage, but it also has a massive pushback effect, which on this map here for Lijiang specifically is absolutely brutal. Send them off the side, and now it's overtime. Saints need somebody on this point at all times.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy. No ults for Bay State, though. That is something that is half decent there for St. Clair, and they are getting the retake here, actually, before it does get contested down. Neb Internal and Faded all finding frags for the side of Bay State. Going to make it hard for St. Clair to stay on this OT. More and more kills coming through. This is getting even more tough for St. Clair. Overtime ticking. They get somebody back onto the point, so still not over yet, but overtime going back down. Can they get someone there? Doesn't be the case. That's going to be Bay State taking game number 1 of this best of 3. We're going to catch the end of the game replay here now, so let's take a peek. Let's see who got this one. We might not have won the map, but can we win the best play of the game? We'll find out.
There's a lot of contention.
Yeah, Neb.
And
I figured. Honestly, Neb, phenomenal game today.
Yeah, and I think it's probably going to be this triple kill with the barrage. No, actually, this might be the double boop, in fact. Yep, there it goes. Concussion shot just sends both Available and Yubel off to the side.
They're so deadly.
It was just the icing on the cake to what was already a fantastic round there for Neb, so, and the rest of Bay State as well. So beautifully done in their regard. Puts Saints in a little bit of a rough spot to start off game number 2.
Yeah, it was a really good hero select there from the side of Bay State. I gotta give them props to that. I mean, for being on Lijiang, that Neb pick was just so good to boot people off the map. The first 2 points both have areas where you can boot people off the map fairly decently, and he just took full advantage of that, using those like concussions, like the double boop, like you were saying there, to just kick them off that map, and it instantly takes them so long then to actually get back to that control point.
And it just basically like I was saying before, they gave the initial point away to just opt the poke from the outside. And then once you get into that position, it's really hard to break back in because now they can just fire from the outside looking in. But Saints did bring this very close. They did, I think, have about 89% in that second one. Much better compared to the first round where it felt like they were kind of boxed out for the most part. But definitely a strong opposition here with the Bay State College squad. And, I mean, they're on a relatively even playing field, at least looking at round 2.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, like you were kind of saying, St. Clair put up more of a fight than I was kind of personally expecting going into this one. Now, the question is, in my head, is this St. Clair playing well, or is this Bay State playing a little bit worse than usual? Because I know that, personally, before the stream has even started, we were having some problems because Bay State players were out for dinner or something like that before the game, right? So, is it them not being warmed up right now that's letting St. Clair potentially maybe come through and pick up a map on them, or even the game? Or is it Bay State just, or is it St. Clair actually just peaking and playing very well right now?
Well, I mean, in every MMO I've ever played, if you have food, you usually get a buff or something after the fact.
Food buff.
So maybe Bay State food buff coming in here. But, like, in all seriousness, though, like, Bay State, while having a composition that may have been a little bit less than standard, like, normally you don't really see Roadhog a whole heck of a lot in competitive, but they were able to make it work. Was it as efficient as it could have been? Maybe, maybe not. But they still did absolutely beautifully with their DPS supports picks, and then basically everybody on side Bay State was doing a fantastic job in that own right. So
yeah, so for Kings Row here for the Saints, I think something that really is going to make or break this offensive round for them is how quick they can get this control point. I think this control point needs to be captured fairly quick for St. Clair to actually have a good, successful kind of round here, and that's what I'm really looking to see from the Saints. I don't know if you're agreeing with me on that one or there, but I think the control point getting capped fairly efficiently is something that needs to happen here.
Yeah, for the longest time we see either a quick pick or a full hold, basically, here on this first point of Kings Row. And with Cave off to a good start, could be troublesome for St. Clair.
Yeah, Cheesy will answer back, so takes down Cave, though, so that is the start that they're kind of looking for. And Arjun going to do a little bit of work there on the abs as well, but Meekon shutting down Yulil might just slow things down here even more. That is going to be the Diva there, D-Mac for the side of Bay State, but I don't think this is too much of a concern for Bay State right now. They still have all 6 alive, where St. Clair has to regroup and get ready for their second push. And I mean, a little unsuccessful of the first push there, but I'm not really too concerned as of yet. I think this second and third push are going to be the ones that might be able to do it, but if not, that's when I'm going to start getting a little bit worried.
Yeah, it's all about trying to burst in together, because we've seen the Saints do it to people in the past. Just these ice walls right there. This is what makes this map extremely difficult, and it looks like Bay State's basically picking up where they left off.
Yeah, for sure. So they're just fragging out here now. St. Clair all has to go through this choke point, and oh no, now Bay State's going to put them in their spawn. I think we've seen this before on Kings Row from the Saints, actually, but they're getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine here now as Bay State just locking them up on this spawn here.
Try this again here one more time. Tank line looking to just try and move up, but they're just stuck even outside. That's a good little freeze, though, but of course the May can protect herself.
Yes, for sure there. So Here we are now. It's going to be, oh my goodness, Mekon and Faded Cave all doing work. And that's going to be a full team wipe once again going in the hands of Bay State. And honestly, this is looking very like do or die soon here for the Saints because I know we still have tons of time remaining. It's just at this point in time, Bay State's just gathering up ultis. They're only using them if they have to. And St. Clair just can't get out of here. These ice walls, like you were saying, having a huge impact on this one. And it's just hurting the Saints so much. Faded doing it once again, right out of Saints spawn, doing so much damage. Players can't walk 10 feet out of that door.
Yeah, she's going to try and get out of there. Does manage to get a pick onto Abs, actually, but does it get back in time? Yeah, actually does. So, you know what? Honestly, solid job with that Meteor Strike.
Get the pick and get out.
And this is now a 6v5 that Saints could possibly win.
Yeah, this is, making the 65 is huge. Kim keeping his life also huge. Like I was saying, get a pick and get out. I think that's always big. There it is, Cheesy. Big punch there out on a Neb. And that is going to be a good start there. But the side of Bay State answering back pretty well themselves. Neb and Cave, the only ones down. Apostle, Cheesy down for the side of the Saints. This is a 4-on-4 here. And these things are getting a little scrappy here now. As Arjun trying to find one, but this is going to be the player just jumping around him on this statue. And they will be on the contested point, but no ticks or no progression has really been made quite yet.
Now we see there with Arjun the Baptiste trying to do as much damage, even though they're all
here it is.
But this could be the chance.
Yeah, there it is. I think this is the point where they capture it here now. They just got to lock things down. It is going to be the side of Bay State having a couple players down. They're going to be forced to regroup and come back to this point. Honestly, I think they should have it here, and then they should be able to get that car released out there and start moving that.
Yeah, so honestly, like, good on Bay State. They were able to bring the Saints down to their final minute of this first point, but honestly, good on St. Clair to be able to breach in and finally snag this one. That being said, though, could be count my chickens before they hatch because this thing's still contested.
Yeah, this thing is still contested, and time is becoming of the essence here, right? You're down to 35 seconds almost here now. It could make things a little more unfortunate for you, but they do get it. They do pop the payload, and now a big thing, though, is that they only have 3 minutes. Bay State did a really good job, despite maybe not ending it rare. They slowed it down drastically. Now the Saints don't have as much time to work with. I think this first point is going to be maybe a little tough for them to capture, especially when they get inside that corner that we just saw on our screens there. It's not going to be easy for St. Clair by any means.
I was kind of worried there that Bay State going in once again would have made it so that the second phase here, that the streak phase, they would have given up like over half the point. But in fact, everybody is here, ready to go just on the outskirts of the archway. Man. And here we go once again, ulti's being popped.
Yeah, it's going to be all in favor of Bay State to start us off here. Apostle and Baleable going to be the first players to drop there. Cheesy falling as well. St. Clair trying to do whatever they can, but not going to be easy when your Diva's already at a quarter HP, and they're just going to frag out, push the Saints all the way back, and it is not going to be easy here. Now, the payload didn't even make it crazy far, to be completely honest, and it's getting pushed back right now as we speak.
I mean, if it stays where it is right now, it's not completely terrible, as long as it's not in that archway. That's where we see a lot of teams just end up struggling, but it's still a little rough.
Thing is can the Saints get there fast enough before it gets pushed back in that archway? Because it's slowly making its way, but we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be Apostle there. Yeah, that's a really good start on the Infernal, and now maybe Cheesy doing some work in here. There it is on the Abs, swapping some util, but there's a big shatter, and that actually is a big shatter. Faded's going to find 3. Apostle, Cheesy, Baleable going down. Neb going to clean up G-Scales on the Diva. Full team wipe. Nobody is even back alive yet. Now you see them starting to come back, but I mean, St. Clair, a minute and a half, you've had 3 minutes and half it's already gone, and you're only about a third of the way there, and it's not going to get easier. Saints might have a tough time getting the second point.
Okay, incredible counter engage from Faded onto that one. That shatter was absolutely money. Love to see it there for the side of Bay State. Saints, though, going to have to try and turn this around. They have lots of utility, lots of ultimates on deck as well. Just a matter of they can keep themselves alive.
Yeah, there's a big Diva bomb, but it will not work out too much in his favor. Cave and Neb going to find a few there. Arjun will answer back on a Mekon, though. But this payload is still getting so far pushed back. I think this actually might be back in the archway here now. Neb going to find Arjun here. Still trying to do some more. Let's see if he can. And there it is. That's going to be Infernal doing some work here as well. And maybe trying to get a possible Diva bomb off. Never mind, he doesn't have it. But yeah, I mean, this payload, it's got to be in the arches now. It is. This payload's stuck in the arches, and this is going to make things harder on the Saints, just as you were talking about.
Yeah, they could basically just step back and sit exactly where they need to here. That cart basically cuts that entire hallway in half.
But there's 5 Saints on it right now, and it's going to be pushed through. So they did get the start of it through, but you only have 25 seconds. Time is the big thing for me right now for the Saints. Because as soon as you hop off it 20 seconds from now, you have you have to always have somebody on it. It's not going to be easy, especially against a strong Bay State roster. And it's going through a corner. Another pinch where Bay State can just hold.
As of right now, though, Saints not looking too bad. Only one going down. The shatter is going to be coming out there from Faded. Not as effective as last time, but there's the depth.
Oh, no. Neb has been going crazy this whole game. Doesn't matter what hero he's playing, he's finding it effective. So great stuff, and now it's going to be overtime. No Saints on it. The timer is ticking, and this might not be it, and I think that should wrap us up. Yes, that is going to be Bay State taking, no, not really taking it, but they will limit St. Clair to 1 point. So that's a lot of points limited there, and honestly, Bay State shouldn't have a crazy hard time going at St. Clair here. St. Clair has to stop them on the point. Because if their payload gets released, I find it very hard for St. Clair to try to stop it that quick.
Yeah, either full hold or basically mimic something similar to what we saw there from Bay State, where, okay, you maybe got the point, but you don't let them in the streets phase very far. Because the Saints right now, right on the doorstep of about maybe the halfway point here of this of the streets phase. And of course, Bay State, they only have to like barely push it further than what St. Clair did to end up winning this round and essentially winning the series, getting themselves their second win. But of course, we're going to game 3 no matter what the result in the NECC. But taking a look, we're not seeing anything really cheesy coming out here from St. Clair. Pretty standard overall.
This first hold for the Saints is massive in my eyes. I mean, if they don't win this first hold, I mean, it's almost pretty much over. I don't want to say over, but like it's going to be next to impossible to try to stop Bay State with so much time on the clock. So yeah, I feel like this first initial hold is like nearly a must-win for St. Clair.
And then this is a little bit of a like either an unintentional counter or perfectly done there from Bay State doing their homework, because a lot of this hold for point 1 relies a lot onto Ubul's May to get these ice walls and separate the team in half, so it's really easy to focus people down. But who doesn't care about an ice wall? Somebody who can go up to the skies. You have Cade this time playing the Pharah, and you have McCann once again there with the Mercy. So Pharmacy combo coming out does not care about your ice wall. There'll be tons of poke damage that the Saints are going to have to put up with.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even know if it's just Bay State doing their homework. In general, most of the time, it's good to have people who can, you know, get above ice walls here on King's Row, because most people will be playing ice walls on the May. But here we go, lots of early picks coming through. Neb gonna take down Cheesy. Cape's gonna do some utility there onto Arjun, and the Faded already on the back lines. Do they know he's back here? I don't think so.
He might have snuck his way in here. We'll have to see in a second. And I do like what I see coming out of Bay State at the moment. They slowed down, waiting for the interference of Faded to get onto the point, and then everybody else will get the move once they focus. And Neb on this Widowmaker too, finding some headshots, finding some snipes, and it takes out 2 players on the side of St. Clair. This first hold's looking rough.
Yeah, and now it is going to be Bay State trying to get some progression on it. They haven't really gotten a tick quite yet, but they should be around here now because there's so much happening. Ubul actually going to get the chains called on him in that one, and it's going to be now Bay State just about to get their second tick, and honestly, most likely going to get the third. I don't think the Saints will be able to really contest it, and it's going to make things pretty difficult there on the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, you can't contest this at this point. It's all about finding your setup for this next fight. You can't really wait into the S's here of the streets phase because, of course, we see the highlighted area. That's as far as Bay State have to get this time by, and they have so many ways to just annoy the Saints with this composition, but at least they take out one real thorn in the side. Infernal taken down early.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Honestly, any kind of first blood, any kind of first initial pick is so good no matter really who it is. So great stuff there from St. Clair. Cheesy also going to find 2 of his own. G-Skill's going to take down Neb. Neb's a big player to get out of this one, and it's a good start, but there's still lots to do, right? This payload's already in the tunnel, and they have 4.5 minutes to work with. St. Clair have a lot of time to really just kind of burn off of Bay State here. It all comes down to this first hold.
Yeah, now this is a little bit of an awkward spot there. Cave this time going to be on the Pharah. Doesn't have much wiggle room to kind of fly around this time. Lots of bridges and archways. You do hear the bombs coming out here. Faded going to just absolutely litter this field with mines. Yeah,
Infernal going to take down Ubel as well. Baleable going to contest the point, and it's going to try to stop something there. A good pin from Apostle going to take down Cave, and then Neb going to trade it out onto Baleable, and Infernal takes down G-Skills there as well. And this should be it, honestly. This point going to get pushed out. It's going to be really hard for the Saints to even find one more hold here.
You know that Bay State is feeling good when McCann is willing to trade the Mercy Staff for the Battle Pistol and just get into the eliminations for themselves. Good to see, but Saints aren't done quite yet. Never mind, there it goes.
A little interesting seeing Cheesy wait a little bit that long when he knew the contest had to come through. Not sure what happened there, but it is going to be the side of Bay State taking that one there, and now it is going to be that 2-0 or 2-0, yeah, for Bay State. So technically they've won the series, but hence NECC. We are going to be playing the third map just for some seeding purposes and to get some better records on maps and whatnot. But I mean, as of right now, it is looking a little bit tough for St. Clair. I mean, as anticipated for us, Bay State top 3 team in the nation, but St. Clair is still putting up a half decent fight there. It was just a lot of it onto that first control point when the Saints were on the defense, and they let them in the lines a little bit too early, a little bit of minor mistakes there, and it's going to hurt in the long run.
the grounded play style of St. Clair going into the first attack just made it like not necessarily difficult, but it was a predictable pattern that's like they're just matching each other ice wall for ice wall, and just the follow-up from Bay State was just ever so slightly better. And of course that's all you need, right? It's just like one player falling just a couple seconds earlier, and all of a sudden that could be the change of the team fight. We saw some good ultimates too coming out of some of the Bay State players. I remember the turnaround there from Faded was one of the highlights, that's for sure. But of course, still have Game 3. We still have Route 66 as our final map here today, which is one where we've seen a bit of a mixed bag.
So, is this the Saints on the offense first here? Or... I want to see, because honestly, Saints on offense to start really scares me here on Route 66, because I think that it's going to be a little hard here for the Saints just to get past that first gas station. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, this gas station hold is sometimes very difficult to get through, and a team like Bay State, like we were comparing them to, similar to a team as Northwood skill level, St. Clair weren't able to get past the cliff on Northwood there, right? So it's going to make things a little tough here, especially with Bay State being on the defensive side here first.
Yeah, I'm curious as to the defensive style that Bay State ends up going for, because when they get super confident, they'll just go like
right onto that cave cliff,
and into like the trains and all the debris and just defend there. But that's a hard spot to do it. This is more standard. Stay on the gas station and just try to play it out from there.
Yeah, but you do see a couple players actually advancing towards here now and getting closer, so that's a little interesting to see. Yeah, it looks like they do want to play a little bit around the ruins. They're not going to go for the full commit up here, but they are going to send a few players up here to at least try to slow things down, but also going to catch some players off guard, and that's going to be Bailable opening things up on a cave. Great start there for the side of the Saints, and those players were just really just caught off guard by the looks of it. Neb going to answer back and will take down Bailable, though. Apostle coming in here, he's going to put to sleep. That's a little concerning. Now tagged down about 300 HP on that one. Ubel as well, going to be forced to play a little bit slower here now on this one, and so far, pretty even.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that Neb here on this Roadhog could absolutely turn this around at a moment's notice just with that hook. That being said,
he's got
lots of damage.
He will make it out this life, just barely. He's going to get some healing up here now, and it is going to be Neb taking down Bailable, so as you can see, he's right back into the swing of things here. And it is going to be St. Clair trying to push this around the gas station, but not going to be easy as Infernal and Neb both find their frays, both headshots actually, and then Ubel coming through and getting knocked down from Neb as well. We do see some ultis coming out as well from the Hanzo on Infernal, and it is going to be St. Clair just kind of at a halt right now.
This is weird seeing G-Skills pick up the Roadhog as well. Haven't really seen him play this hero basically all season long, but getting the same amount of this time but Cade here with these Widowmaker shots are absolutely ridiculous. Just took out the support line by himself.
Talking to the team and talking to some other players in like the Overwatch kind of collegiate Overwatch community, in NECC, map 3 is where a lot of these teams will try new things, because it's like, okay, you lost the series or you won the series in Bay State's case, and now you're in a map 3. This is essentially just for seeding. Yes, it still does have some importance, but you'd rather try out new things in a map 3 for seeding than a record game, right? So map 3s are typically when you'll see things like that. And oh my god, Faded! Oh my goodness! This is crazy from Faded, just coming way in on the back line. This is just going to slow down the Saints so much. Look at this. We have about 2 minutes through here almost, and St. Clair's only gotten this 35 meters. This is going to be really tough for St. Clair to try to get this pushed even further.
We'll turn around, though. That hack from Cheesy in the background did lock down the abilities from a lot of the Bay State members. Going to even this up at least a little bit.
Yeah, but Neb will be taking down Apostle on the Roadhog there, and very good stuff, very good pick there, and this contest is still here at the 35-meter mark. But St. Clair is having some more resources over here to come out and help, and Faded going down going to be big for G-Scales, and now they should be able to get this to around the corner of the gas station, and this is looking a little bit better than them here now. Neb going to get some tags down, and this is looking fairly even here at this point of view.
Yeah, the respawn zone here on Route 66 is so far away that every death on the defensive side really does count a ton. That being said, though, Bay State able to get themselves back in here. Faded doing exactly what Faded does, is constantly in the back line, being an absolute pest.
Being a menace. Yeah, he's going to see him back here just causing problems. He will get cleaned up there from Bailable. Infernal going to take down Roadhog on the G-Scales as well. And, I mean, that's a little tough. Losing your Roadhog here now on your push, it's probably going to cause some casualties for your other players as well, as you do see Argent and you will both fall. And now it's going to be up to St. Clair to have to regroup here. But Bay State's just pushing them into their spawns. They're playing the trains. They're playing the Rebel. They were just waiting a little bit there to see if they can get a few opening picks before they push this far up. And now that they have them, and now that St. Clair's pushed back in their spawn, Bay State has the ability to do this.
G-Skills did manage to find a nice pick.
Oh!
But that being said, Neb nearly sealed the deal onto G-Skills. But now
Gabriel gonna get him back!
But Neb not going to care. Takes care of him.
Yeah, Neb, really good stuff there in that regard. And here we are. It's going to be Neb trying to find another one on the chains there. And you see everybody on the side of base state who's waiting on gas station. They're like, all right, where are the enemies? Bring them to us. Come on. Because you do see the guys back there. They're just playing this slow. They're just doing whatever they need to do. Where there's a lot of Roadhog fights going on up here over here now. And, oh, very good. Going to take down Neb, actually. G-Skills are both finding frags. Neb and Inferior going to find a few as well. So this is a 4-on-4, essentially, at this point for a little bit.
Gosh, so close to getting a takedown, but somebody from the Saints needs to be able to reach that cart within these next 10 seconds. Otherwise, it might be a relatively easy push here for Bay State going into their attacking round.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were saying, I mean, going into their attacking round, this payload's essentially only at the gas station at this point in time, but they are moving it further in their last final moments here. It is going to be Bay State, like you were talking about, the spawn so far away that the deaths are allowing St. Clair to get this far up, but Neb will be taking down Cheesy. That's going to be, he's so good on that hero select.
I would love to somehow know the hook conversion rate from everybody who's played Roadhog here on this Base 8 squad, because they have just been absolutely ridiculous. Just finding hook after hook, and that basically just kept turning these fights over and over again. And the Saints are going to get it right to the corner, just outside the checkpoint for the first points, but still.
60 meters is not a crazy distance there by any means, and it's going to be very tough to hold this. Like, honestly, like, Bay State might be able to get this 60 meters in their first push if they can knock down all of St. Clair. And that's what's really concerning for the side of the Saints right now. You can see it kind of there on their faces a little bit on, like, how it's just hard right now. Knowing that you're going up against the top 3 team in the nation, knowing that you're struggling a little bit here in NECC, it's just tough. It's demoralizing, to be honest.
Oh, it definitely can be, but you just have to come back with a game plan. And right here for St. Clair, I feel like they have to go in worried about sniper compositions or some sort of like heavy pick compositions, considering the way that Neb and considering the way that the Widowmakers and how Inferno in this situation as well, picking up the Soldier. Like, they've just been able to get pick after pick overall here in this series, which has been pretty insane and pretty well game-changing. So if they can keep themselves a little bit safe and just, like, poke from afar, yes, you're going to have to contest the card eventually, but you might be able to kill some time, but it's only 4 minutes.
Like, just seeing that spot on the ground is like a little scary because it's just so close, right? And, you know, we see teams get this payload up to the gas station all the time, right? So it's a little tough to see that there. And like you were saying, you just got to come through with the game plan here if you're the Saints, right? You got to lock things down. 4 minutes. It is a lot of time, but it isn't at the same point. And Apostle playing kind of cheeky, gonna pop out, maybe being able to find one. That is gonna be K-tagged down pretty drastically here now. And Apostle trying to go for the slam, will find it. Does he get a frag with it? Not yet, but he's definitely slowing down this Bay State push. He's just being a menace and causing problems in the backline right now, and it's doing wonders for St. Clair.
Yeah, one way to deal with the sniper is just not let them set up, period, but it is going to cost him his life.
Oh, but GCLs and Bale will do find a couple frags in a result, so it is okay at this point. Yes, the payload has made it up around this corner, but that's the easy part. Now it's where things get a little bit harder for Bay State, but Faded and Neb finding entry frags is going to make things hard for sure, especially if this player on top of gas goes down, and he will. That's Yubo falling, and honestly, this should be it. Honestly, I don't see, unless Roadhog can somehow get on there, G-Skills, but they're just trying to slow him down. He does eventually get there, but he's going to be instantly cleaned up. And now that's another player, the Roadhog from the Saints. You're still doing work, and honestly, it's just so tough because this is literally 4-5 meters away.
Yeah, right around the corner, just a matter of finishing off the trickling Saints players. Now we're seeing they're focusing targets individually.
And here it
not
is.
Spread, and yeah, just spray and pray at this point. You're just pushing everybody else away. GG, Bay State with the 3-0 and just cementing the fact why they're one of the top teams in our group.
Oh yeah, got to give respect where it's due. I mean, hey, Bay State be coming here knowing that they're going to be doing things like this, right? And no surprises, really, to be completely honest here for me personally in the series. I don't know about you, but St. Clair, honestly, if anything surprise, St. Clair playing really well in game number 1 there. I really liked how St. Clair came through and started the series off. Yes, it might have fell through a little bit there in the maps 2 and 3, but it was a fairly good start. That's at least something to pull away from it. You got to look at the glass half full than half empty.
Oh, absolutely. And without a doubt, there was still the point where, like, Bay State, they had to... like, they couldn't sleep. They had to do exactly what they needed to do. Is their composition a little bit, like, odd, like I was saying before? Especially for game number 3 going for the double sniper. I mean, it makes sense on that map, to be fair, though. Lots of long sight lines, but they just showed that it made it work.
And just as I was saying, right, map 3 is the ones where you just try things, right? It's like, I hate to say it personally, but it's a map that not a lot of teams care about. Like, obviously it has some value there, but it's a map that has a lot less value, and a map that is just something that in the team's mindsets is just like whatever, like, right? And that's how a lot of teams think about it. Bay State probably thinking that way. I don't know, but yeah, that's how it kind of is felt out for NECC.
Yeah, if you go up 2-0, like, it does give you that wiggle room, right? Like, in an absolute worst case scenario, you didn't lose the series, so try something different. But it was nice to see though that Bay State, like, they weren't just like picking throw picks. It was a valid strategy, just a new one, and made it work.
The confidence is there for Bay State, right?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, like you go into that, you win the first 2 games like you did. You kind of can do what you want, I feel like, in game 3, right? You obviously still want to stick to your composition a little bit and play it safe-ish, not risk throwing away a map that you should have. But great stuff overall. Saints played well, and I think we see the Saints Overwatch next week in NACE playoffs? Are they in NACE playoffs?
Not for NACE playoffs. I think we will be a part of NECC, though. It's just a matter of does that start next weekend? Because, yeah, this was the final match of the season.
Yeah, season finale.
For NECC, so I think our Saints are going to end up with like a 2-6 overall, but of course, with the way that our group was seeded, top 8 make it. We are within that top 8, so we're A-okay in that regard. And still, like, plenty of playoff action though going to be happening starting next week, especially like Thursday onward, where I know a lot of NACE stuff does end up happening. You'll probably see a lot of Call of Duty and Rocket League next week, but we're still not done with Overwatch either.
For sure. Very excited to see all these upcoming titles and all the playoffs, so don't miss out. Saints Gaming CA on all socials if you guys want to stay tuned and in the loop for everything there, you know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, anything. So yeah, stay posted with everything in that regard. And yeah, that's going to be our NECC final regular season. I believe we finish off 3-6 or like 3-5 or like 2-6. It's something around that regard. It's but yeah, it's an okay finish. Could be a little bit better, but lots of really good teams in the NECC so far this season. We saw Northwood, we saw Bay State. There's your 2 top 3 national teams right there.
Even a couple like ones that would have come off as like a bit of a sleeper pick, like say like Waldorf from I think it was like a week or 2 ago, where we thought that okay, we've never heard of these players before. This should be, in theory, okay, this is why you never sleep on a team, right? So, like, some absolute killers here in our group, and, like, Saints stuffed it out, still made the playoffs, which, of course, main goal complete. Just got to see what happens in the playoffs. Maybe get a little bit of a redemption arc going for how the regular season went. Yeah, for sure. So let's check out some of our sponsors here. Starting us off, we have Crunchyroll. They're going to be our newest sponsor here for the season. I know we've mentioned them a few times in the broadcast, as most of you have heard if you consistently watch the Saints. But if not, you guys can get a 14-day premium trial for free at crunchyroll.com/Saints. And essentially Netflix of anime there. Anything that you could possibly want to watch anime-wise will most likely be on Crunchyroll there. So make sure you guys check it out. Free 14-day premium trial at crunchyroll.com/Saints. And who doesn't like free stuff there, Dan? So get it while you can. And now, moving on to our other sponsors there, we have Tim Hortons, Subway, the St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Huge thanks to them as well. Wouldn't be able to put on these broadcasts otherwise, so thank you so much. And I'll give you a chance to talk about some of our sick merch there, as you got the hat and the jacket on today. Absolutely. I'm a walking billboard today. We have the dark mode merch basically coming out in full force. Everything from some Beam Scrim t-shirts to the awesome jackets and jerseys, hats, masks, crew necks, whatever it happens to be you're looking for, even some flags and whatnot, all at acquire.ca/Saints. Get in on that awesome new merch and represent the Saints here with us here on the channel.
Yeah, maybe when my dad hat comes in, I can do a little flip. We'll match you there a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But
I wouldn't know who you were. I've never seen you like with your hat actually put forward.
For sure, for sure. Well, everyone, that will wrap us up here now for the NECC regular season, actually. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in to St. Clair Saints Overwatch. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danner's Banner. We'll catch you guys all on the next one. Enjoy your night.